Yet again, for another game week, I was feeling rather pessimistic about West Ham and football in general until I watched Manchester United this afternoon and realised, well, they're pretty much as bad as us, which is hilarious. Welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. Hope you are all well. Match preview? No, it's definitely not a match preview. The roundup show, let's get that right, for game week 6 of the Premier League season as we depart September very shortly. It's flying by. Sean, how are you?
I'm all right, mate. Another weekend, been and gone. Yeah, football's good today.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm sure you enjoyed your afternoon. Let's have a little look at some comments before we get cracking. I can't understand how there is a universe where our shouting Spaniard is in a job. Well, Tuchel is available. Worst manager we've ever had. Totally clueless. Some strong thoughts about Mr. Julian Lopetegui already. Now, I haven't actually put the Everton game down to talk about today, but we will talk about it, especially for Josh's granddad. And hopefully Josh is going to be here in a minute as well. The Toffees won their first game and only a point behind the Hammers now, which, no offence, is pretty alarming for us. Only joke. Michael, evening. Granddad happy with his first win. Absolutely. Ipswich look good today. They have a striker, unlike us. They are undefeated in 4. Ipswich, and they play us next. Brilliant. I was not in makeup running late, I can guarantee you of that. Larry's in as well. Hope you're well. We'll go to St James's Park first, Sean. Newcastle 1, Manchester City 1. Feels like quite a long time ago, but the Rodri absence is already telling.
Yeah, it was a game. It was at Saturday lunchtime, the early one, wasn't it? I felt like it didn't really get going for large spells of it. I think that possibly is because when City keep the ball up really well, but also City are often a team that lack a bit of pace. So if a team sit deep and then just pass it from side to side, they obviously usually create a chance eventually. Hallam was well marked during the game. Didn't really get going, and then obviously they went 1-0 up, but then Newcastle seemed to have a lot of the play then, and obviously then started to counter with a bit of pace or not. I'm not sure if it was a penalty or not, what they got. I know Alan Shearer said he thinks he dived, so that's your Newcastle point of view there, but I think you see him given quite a lot. I think it's one of those where it's very difficult to even tell on VAR whether he has gone down easy or if he's caught in a. It's very difficult to tell, so I think you do tend to see them quite often. But will it be seen as a bad point for City? I'm not sure it will. I think when it was about 20-5 at the Emirates, when it was 2-2, it was looking like probably quite a good point. But obviously, they turned that around. I don't think it's going to be seen as a terrible point. Obviously, De Bruyne is out again. Obviously, Foden come off the bench. Doku still looks poor when he comes on. Is it Sylvina? When he comes on, he looks a bit young and raw. So I don't know. It wasn't the best game, and I don't think City be that upset with the point really. But Newcastle, I don't think they're in the best of form. I think they can be a bit easy to play against. I think they'll be over the moon with that point.
Yeah, absolutely. A point at home to Man City for pretty much anyone is a decent result. And for Man City, it's not good for us, certainly. I don't like to see Rodri not there because they do tend to disintegrate slightly when he's not there, and we all know the alternative for the league title. Well, maybe Liverpool might give it a go this year, but yeah, it's not looking good in that sense. Larry, I'm moving up the fantasy league table. Well, like West Ham, I'm moving down it. I've gone down quite a few places this week. I've had a Western Supermare, but hey ho.
I think I left mine too late to do the transfer, so I ended up playing with Isaac up front. I told you I was playing injured players, so.
Pen or pen, and pen or no pen, great dive in my opinion, says Michael. Looked very soft. Sold Palmer for 40 million and got Doku for 65. It's not looking like fantastic business. And talking about Palmer, I mean, if anybody triple captain Palmer yesterday, they had a right good stroke because he must have scored 4 goals, so God knows how many he got. If he's triple captained, Ben Palmer, best player in the Prem right now. Dear me. Sean, who's the best player in the Prem right now?
Oh, that's got me. It was probably him towards the end of last season, wasn't it? Really, and I don't think he hasn't done loads and loads this season yet. Obviously, that's a bit of a special 45 minutes he got. Yeah, he got 4 in one game last season as well, didn't he? Can't remember what it was against now. But he's a very good player. I'm still not 100% sure what his best position is really, but yeah, he's a very good player. Whether he I don't know, will a team come in for him buying from Chelsea? I don't know.
For once, a mistake in the transfer department from Manchester City to let him go. It looks worse and worse by the week. We're going to move on to the Emirates next. Arsenal 4, Leicester 2. There's 2 4-2s this weekend, which we're going to discuss. I wonder when the last time that scoreline was repeated in the same game week. But this wasn't straightforward for Arsenal. On paper, it might look like a little bit, but they were 2 goals in late injury time. To get the win.
Yeah, when Arsenal go 2-0 up against like a newly promoted side, it's just like a standard sort of game minute for Arsenal. You expect them to win easy. So when I looked at my phone, I think the 2 goals were pretty close together in the second half, weren't they? I was very surprised to see it 2-2, and it did take the 93rd and the 99th minute to win it. But again, with Arsenal, they score so many late goals. When it was 2-2 going to injury time, it's almost like what minute will they score, really? I'm repeating myself every week, really. Arsenal will be up there. Maybe this is a sign of a bit of toughness. Some of these gritty, dark art wins we're hearing about, maybe that's showing a bit more toughness. I don't really know. But it wasn't straightforward, and I think they're getting the points this season. I don't think it's been entirely straightforward performances, really, or even unusual performances. Like the one against us, Arsenal have always been a team that come out and play football and want to have lots of the ball, but they didn't really do that against us. Going 2-2 up, then 2-2 against Leicester, and then obviously parking the bus against City, nearly getting away. It's been getting the points. You can't fault that, but it's been a strange 3-4 games for Arsenal. Really, I don't really know what to think of them.
Yeah. What have you made of? They've been branded as a dark arts team over the last few weeks with the way they've set up. They've shifted, they've changed some things, and maybe Mikel Arteta's had enough. And they're just trying to be a little bit more streetwise this season. Have you sensed that?
I think it's fair to say Arteta's a bit of a strange chap. He's got enough evidence of that, and there's a reason why he's not the most likable chap out there. Let's be honest. But he's a strange chap. We've seen video footage of some weird and wonderful things he's tried in the dressing room. Yeah. So I'm not surprised at all that he's looked at it and thought, I can't remember how many points they've got the last 2 seasons, but they've been steadily improving, just missing out on the title. I'm not surprised he's tried to tweak a few extra things. The main thing noticeably, he's wasting a lot of time in games. It's trying to slow games down, but just kind of going away from this Pep's Apprentice style a little bit. So yeah, I'm not surprised he's trying to just get a little bit more advantage one way or the other out of it. That's just, we should have seen it coming, really. He'd do something a bit different out of the box.
Yeah, for sure. Josh is joining us. How are you, mate?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Sue's joining us in the chat. James, hope you're well. I've just taken Tony out of my dream team. That just about sums up your fantasy league so far, Dad, then, doesn't it? Arsenal lucky to get the goals in Fergie time, indeed. Indeed, great equaliser, and that was a foul on Vardy when Arsenal scored. Says Michael, and he's in as well. I hope you are well. Right, next up. Is our game. Brilliant. Brentford 1, West Ham 1. I better do this, I suppose. It wasn't great again. Conceded inside however many 40 seconds. I mean, you'd have thought that they'd have worked this week after twice this season so far. They've scored inside a minute, Brentford, but no, they did it exactly the same again, and they wouldn't have scored an easier goal if they tried. We are so defensively naive. It's unbelievable. Our positioning, the gaping holes we leave, it needs to be addressed. Kilman's holding it together himself there at the moment, and he can't do it all. We're being exposed on the wings dreadfully. We're getting caught out of position. We are defending like a narrow boat. We are so narrow, it's unbelievable. Wan-Bissaka and Emerson are having a tough old time out there because they're not getting out to the wing, and they're giving them basically a free run into the box every single time, which equates to danger pretty much every single time. We got back into the game. We had a really good spell and got the goal. It's not really enough, is it? I mean, would you take a point after conceding after 40 seconds? Some might, but I'm sorry, we've had a dreadful start. This is a game that we had to win and we didn't, and it makes that game against Ipswich next week, who got a point against Villa today, even more monumentally important. We need to win, otherwise the pressure is mounting at Julian Lopetegui's door. Obviously, you wouldn't have watched it, Josh, but your thoughts on the scoreline?
Yeah, It's an interesting one. I think West Ham fans last season, when a lot of you were asking for Moyes out just for quite a while, really. I don't know if you're thinking already that maybe for what you wish for, because it's not been a great start for us. I haven't watched it much, but I know, again, the first game of the season and stuff, I really wasn't impressed. I know a lot of you said it was different to how Moyes played. He's enjoyed it. I thought we were by far the better team. I wasn't really impressed. And all the other games, it sounds like the few points you have got, you've been looking to get them as well. So it's been a tough start for Lopetegui. Maybe it's just kind of down quite a few players, and maybe just the squad's gelling together, and it will come good over time. But it's been a tough start, and yeah, we'll see how it unfolds. But at the moment, I think David Moyes with a smirk on his face, because it's not been a great start at all for West Ham.
He can smirk all he likes, but it was the right decision. I think we just brought in the wrong man at the current moment in time, but you never know. You never know. The most harrowing thing about it probably is that we were bad and Brentford were just as bad, to be honest. And apart from the first 20 minutes where they smelt blood, they just drifted out, and I can see why they've been struggling at the start of the season so far. Two bad teams equated into a pretty poor quality game of football. We'll go to Stamford Bridge next. Sean, Chelsea 4, Brighton 2. We touched on Palmer a little bit earlier on, but your thoughts on this?
It was 4-2 at half time on this one.
It was, yeah.
Well, I was out sort of keeping track of them. As you know, I don't really follow Chelsea a great deal. They're going to be a force this year, I think. I don't understand the manager, or whether they just need a bit of time to more players to bed in, but they don't seem to be as naive. I think they're still quite an open team to play against. I think, from what I can see, both of these teams are very, very open. Brighton and Chelsea, a bit like my lot, I suppose. It's going to, if you're an open team, you're going to, whether for the neutral, you're usually going to be an entertaining game, because you're going to be open and can see silly goals, or you're going to create endless chances. And in a weird way, that's what we want, because football's there to be entertained, and they are like that. I don't see Chelsea challenging for the title, but I think they'll probably be definitely in the top 6. I can't see them going too far away from that. They've got 2 or 3 very good players that can carry along, I don't know, 6 or 7 good to average players. But yeah, I don't know if it's down to the manager or not, but it's 2 good footballing sides, Brighton and Chelsea. Like, I don't know. Is that what you want? Would you like a more open playing manager? But
well, I'd like the players to be utilised in the correct way to start with. Let's focus on that first. But well,
but you said about your manager, like, you're not sure of the right choice. I was thinking about West Ham the other day, because we had a period, don't forget, admittedly probably a little bit of higher standard than what West Ham have got at the moment, but we had a period of Mourinho and Conte trying to implement this certain style of football with a certain squad of players, mainly with a squad built by a different manager. And it's not easy. And I think we've said before about, I think when Moyes signed a few players a few windows ago, he was like, oh, don't feel like Moyes signings. Yeah. But he utilised them in his way, and sometimes players, that's all they've got. Or maybe it takes them a long, long time to get used to a different style. Or maybe that's just all they've got. Maybe a manager coming in trying to play a certain way, it just doesn't suit the players, and that's the harsh reality of it.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting and importantly significant couple of weeks for Julian Lopetegui coming up now. Let's move to today, where we'll start, of course, at Portman Road. It switched to Villa 2. I didn't see any of this, Josh, so talk me through it.
Yeah, I thought from Villa's point of view, it was a really poor performance, all right, to be honest. Got off to a really bad start when Ezri Konsa just gives the ball away in his own penalty area, and then that's never a good sign. And you could also ask questions to Martinez for the goal as well. Sort of gone through his hands a little bit. It is a good strike from the lap, but it's gone straight through his hands a bit. So what you've got to do at ground, newly promoted grounds, you've just got to get through the first 15 minutes. And that's not what we did at all. We conceded in the first 5 minutes, and it was always going to be tough from there. Managed to turn it round. I wouldn't say we deserved it, to be honest. 2 well-taken goals. and Watkins. But even then, I'd say first half, Ipswich still had the better chances by far. And apart from the 2 goals we scored, we just didn't create anything at all, really. I thought we were really shaky at the back, really open. And Diego Carlos, for his size, he just gets bullied, to be honest. He's only up against Liam Delap, but it really doesn't use the size of his advantage. I struggle to understand how he gets bullied so much when he's that big. And just at the back in general, we looked really open first half. Really. But we had the lead at half time. I'm not too sure how. And in the second half, it was even worse, to be honest. We just didn't start well at all. And you could just see the goal coming. It was just constant pressure. We just didn't keep hold of the ball very well. We were going a lot more direct today, and I think I can only presume it's because we could see they were slow at the back. They had some slow defenders, but it just wasn't really working because they have massive defenders who was winning everything in the air, and we kept trying to go really direct and in long balls, and it wasn't working at all. Just couldn't get our foot on the ball and play. It was really poor all round. And then Ezra Cons was playing at right back, where he never ever looks as good. He gives nothing going forward, and he just always looks really shaky there. For the first goal, second goal, he tries to venture forward, play a really hard through ball to the striker, which is never going to come off. Get intercepted, leaves himself out of position, and then they break and score from that with some horrific 1v1 defender from Diego Carlos as well.
Josh, you're on one today.
No, I don't know. I'm used to winning this season.
He's used to winning.
He's been spoilt too much. That's all it is. He should remember those championship days.
Yeah.
No, that's what I mean. Like, it just shows how far we've come. What are we, 4th in the league? And I'm absolutely slating everyone. But yeah, today it was just really poor. Carlos, his 1v1 defending today was just horrific. And I'd say Cons at right back, we never seem to do well when he plays there. And to be honest, last 10 minutes we were hanging on as well. We could have easily lost it. Then we sort of 10 minutes. I don't know how we managed to keep them out. But we got a point. There's a 2 points dropped against the opposing side, probably. But then when you look at the start we've had, we're on more points than what we were at this stage last season. So I don't think it's too much of a bad start. 4 wins and a draw and a loss. Still a decent start. It's a poor performance today, but we've got Bayern Munich in the week as well, so there'll definitely need to be a reaction. But no, I'm happy with the start. It's just one of them days where, really poor today, to be honest.
Josh, you do sound like Gary Neville earlier going at Man United. Honestly, like he just wanted to go home, Neville, didn't he? He just had enough. He put out every adjective negatively that he could to describe Manchester United. And Josh, you've repeated it. I like it. I like the passion. It's very good indeed. Talking of Manchester United, let's go to that. Now, I don't want to discredit Spurs too much, Sean, because I thought Spurs were excellent. It's been a funny time for Spurs because I watched that Coventry game a couple of weeks ago, and I was amazed, to be totally honest with you. And I watched that today, and I went, that's where I expect Spurs to be, a very good team. Van der Ven, excellent, cohesive to an extent. Spurs weren't amazing today, but they didn't have to be because Manchester United was so bad.
I thought Spurs were very good. I think they've been very good. Well, good in a few games and not won them this season. We've dominated teams nearly as much as that and lost this season. So, and we still missed quite a few chances today. Probably could, if it was ended up 6-1 or 6-0, I don't think anyone would have had too many complaints today.
No.
What I will say, I think we played very well, and I'm glad you mentioned the Coventry game. And this is a bit of aimed a little bit at Ten Hag. On Ten Hag, by the way, United's next 2 games are away to Villa and away to Porto. So let's see how those 2 games pan out. What I will say, but I'm glad you mentioned the Coventry game. 2 of our last 4 games were away to Coventry and home to Qarabağ in midweek. Both of their managers clearly did far more homework on Tottenham than what Ten Hag did. They clearly worked out a way. We beat both of them, but they clearly had a game plan to make life difficult for us. They had a style. They knew they were going to hassle. They know we'd leave 1 or 2 centre-backs back, so they press that centre-back. That's how Dragusan got sent off the other day. That's how Davies only got nabbed on the ball late on with Vicari, had to come out and rescue him. It was a game plan. Coventry, Mark Robbins is a well-known, very good championship manager. He's an astute coach. He knows how to set a team up. They had, and it wasn't our strongest team, but they played very well against us, countered us very well, hassled us, broke with pace. After all, and you could even say Arteta against us of Arsenal. Okay, maybe it's a bit of a coward's way to win a game, a little bit, park the bus and rely on a corner. But he had a game plan. He knew our weakness. He knew how to get to us, and it worked. It's like Ten Hag hadn't seen us play. We were so much time, so much pace. Their pressing wasn't good enough. Our triangles coming out the back, playing out was top class. They couldn't get near us. As soon as our wingers made the run, the ball in behind. Where I think Werner got 1-on-1s 2 or 3 times. The same ball was on every time. Johnson was getting the ball, not getting tight enough. I could go on and on. It's the complete opposite how you set up against Tottenham. And I think your dad just wrote that we've got you in a couple of weeks. Is that right? I'm not that clued up on the fixture list, to be honest.
19th
I think your
of
manager will
October.
still be there then. But you've seen Tottenham play enough to know you like watching Tottenham play. So you know
you're on the telly every week, Sean. That's Sky's fault. You're on the telly. I've got to get me money's worth.
Hang on a minute. You watched Tottenham play on Thursday night, and I thought there's about 5 Europa games on. You got Tottenham on.
Yeah, because it was delayed. I wondered what was going on. Then Matey Boy got sent off. I thought, I ain't gonna watch this.
But you're not sure about your manager style. Yet I've just named 4 games against Tottenham the last month, right? And you've seen 4 different managers set up against us. So in your head now, you must be building a picture how you want your manager set up against us, how you want to get something. Because in the past, let's put it damn straight, your lot seem to turn it on against us because whatever reason, and maybe it's been Moyes, I know it's been managed in the past, we've done it, but you know how to play against Ange, and you've seen suicide, how not to play against Ange. Because there's a game coming sooner or later where we will score 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If Son was playing today, he'd have had at least 2. Do you know what I mean? But United, I don't think they were good. I just think the manager was just a little bit naive and lazy, if I'm being honest. I can't put it any better than that. Some of our key players were brilliant. I think we've looked very good since Kulusevski's been playing in the middle and midfield.
He looks good.
I don't know if you've noticed that. He used to play in the front 3 on the wide right, and he'd never use his right foot. Always tucking in. Now he's on the right of this more narrow 3. He's looked very good. It's an attacking centre midfield because we've only got Bentancur sort of sitting a little bit. I know they had a man sent off, but today, letter of the law was a red. I know some of their fans might letter of the law was a red, and I think Gary Neville summed that up, and that's why he said VAR couldn't get involved. Some of my fans might not like the card, but today's laws is a red card.
Yeah, it's one of them where I don't think they'd have probably got involved with the new threshold of not getting involved VAR. If he'd have given a yellow, I don't think they'd have intervened. Josh, did you watch it?
I did, yeah.
Good. Manchester United. Let's focus on them because it's quite funny. Ten Hag's a dinosaur, isn't he? I mean, Sean's just outlined it there in terms of the sort of game plan. And I hadn't thought about it like that, and now he says that he's absolutely right. They had no idea, United.
Yeah, I keep saying it with United. I still don't see what they're trying to do. I've just never seen a style of play there. At Ajax, apparently it was like a high pressing, expansive style of play. And I think he tried to play that on his first game with United. I think he lost the first game, got battered 4-0 to Brentford in the second. And I think Pitch already come out and said in his interview he can't play the way he played with Ajax in the Premier League. And ever since, I think it's just been like counter-attack. There's just no real style there. They rely on quick forwards doing a business on the breakaway. I think that's usually the only way they score. They don't really press very well. They don't keep the ball well. I just don't see what they're trying to do, really. And even before he went down to 10 men, first 40 minutes, they were pathetic as well then, to be honest. I really don't see what they're trying to do with Ten Hag. I don't see the identity. I don't know how to play. I just think it's time up for him, to be honest. Their place and because he signed with United, sacking the managers down the years. But even with the ones they've sacked, none of them have done as bad as him. No one finished 8th like he did last season. And if it wasn't for him winning the FA Cup, he'd have been gone last season. But I think it probably would have been better sacking him at the end of last season than now, because we had a whole summer to get someone in. Now it's like more managers, there's less managers available. You've backed him, you've let him get his own players in.
He's had 5 transfer windows, Josh. It's completely his team.
Oh yeah. But this summer they actually went for it a bit. Like, and the thing is with United, the last few years they've been signing players like just big names. You know what I mean, like Casemiro, Ronaldo, Varane. Like, I think this year they've probably done the right thing, signing players like Xerxes, Mazraoui, Ugarte, just like younger players. But so they finally sort of done the right thing. So that now I don't really think it's the manager now. I just think. I mean, I don't think it's the players now, sorry. I think it's just the manager's style of play. I really don't get what he's trying to do. But when you back him like that, I just think, and then they sack it, if they do sack him, he's sacking him about 10 games into a season. I just definitely think they would have been better off letting him go in the summer. I get what they're trying to do, give him time, because the problem has been last few years sacking the manager. But as I say, none of them have done as bad as him. No one's finished 8th. And I've always seen an identity. Even under like Mourinho, you could tell it was negative, but you could see there was an identity there. It was a good counter-attacking style of play. Whereas just Ten Hag, I just really don't see it. I just don't really rely on the quick players and the break, and that's it. I thought Spurs played well. They could have had 6 or 7, to be honest. If they didn't have Solanke and Werner up front and get a couple of clinical forwards, it could have got embarrassing for United.
Could have been.
They play Villa next week, so I'm sure they'll get the traditional win at Villa Park. But
have a bit of confidence, Josh. Come on, you've just watched them be rubbish. Come on, have a bit of confidence. Yeah. Look, and as Sean said, they got some tough games coming up. Man United. The pressure doesn't stop for Eric Ten Hag. And how long has he got left? I think he is close to being on borrowed time. There we go. We do have a Monday Night Football tomorrow, and it is a South Coast derby. Southampton versus Bournemouth at the Vitality. What do we think? A quick prediction, Sean?
I'm going to be controversial. I'm going to say Southampton to get their first win of the season.
Wow.
2-1 Southampton. A good little game. That's a good little two teams that would like to play football.
Exactly. An away win for the Saints is what Sean reckons. Josh, a prediction?
No, I think it'll be Bournemouth. He's not starting the season too badly. Southampton I don't see how they're going to stay up. I'll go Bournemouth.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a draw, so we've got one of each, just for the sake of variety. I think Southampton will turn up, and I think they'll be better. But I think they must draw 1-1 draw, a goal either side of half time. Southampton first and Bournemouth second in the second half. But yeah, an interesting Monday Night Football to cap off the weekend. Not long, we've got another international break. Just one more game week. We've got Ipswich next week. Villa have got Man United. Who have you got, Sean, next week?
We're away to Brighton.
Interesting. So we'll have a little.
Be a little bit like Brighton Chelsea. I'd imagine it's going to be open. We won't change.
It will be. Ten Hag making excuses as we speak. A clown, that manager. There we go. 3-1 to Bournemouth. 2-1 to the Cherries. 3-0 to Bournemouth. And Michael, great minds think alike. 1-1 there. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night. As always, gents, thank you very much indeed. I will see you next week.
Cheers. See you
there.
Thanks for watching. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We'll build up. We haven't got a midweek game, thank God for that. We'll start building up to the Ipswich game towards the back end of the week. And until then, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.